So guys, the dark connection between P. Diddy and Oprah Winfrey, I think I might have just found it. Let's get into this video. Hey guys, it's Morali, daily and consistent content. Let's tap into this conversation. Now, I think we all know about the Ashley Parham lawsuit, which has listed so many defendants, including Jaguar Wright, Drewski, Odell Beckham Jr., and the list, of course, goes on. But one of these people that was listed is somebody called John Pelletier, who seemed to have been somebody who was a chief police officer at the time, where he was listed as somebody working for Diddy, sending bribes, expediting the process for P. Diddy to basically get away with his stuff. Now, whilst Ashley Parham's lawsuit has caused so much confusion over the past couple of days, and if anything, denounced any credibility in this lawsuit, one thing it definitely has done that is useful is put all eyes on this man, John Pelletier, because people are speaking, guys, and we need to speak about the corruption of this man, because he somehow seems to be at the scene of the crime continuously. Now, before we get into the multiple issues that he is at hand, there is an article that was released on November 18th, guys, 2024, by a website that claims that the mob is connected to Maui Police Chief John Pelletier in freefall, and that John Pelletier has direct transporting connections to Sean Diddy Combs and also Oprah Winfrey. Now remember, this man and this article came out about him in November 2024. So they have stated that there's a connection between this particular man being the middleman for Oprah and for Diddy to basically do their dirty work, or, allegedly. And for the fact that now, in March 2025, there is a lawsuit in regards to John Pelletier and Diddy and, connections of corruption is definitely intriguing, because this couldn't have been a prediction. They must have, had sources confirm this, which is why they publicly put out this article. We're going to look into who John Pelletier is, and this man is somebody who is just a person who's always at the scene of the crime, but his hands are always clean. The Las Vegas massacre, where we had 58 people who were murdered from above and hundreds, were wounded, unfortunately. In the middle of all of this, John Pelletier was present. At the time, he was the incident commander for the Las Vegas police. In other words, the guy basically was calling the shots on how everything should be handled. A case that basically made no sense, that left survivors and investigators scratching their heads, and we were told there was just one shooter despite multiple witnesses saying otherwise. And key pieces of footage from inside Mandalay Bay that basically went missing, wasn't released, or was redacted. And who was in the center of this entire police response? John Pelletier. He was the one who was basically handling how all of this should be publicly responded. The Maui fires, of course, fast forward to 2023, is where recently John Pelletier was somebody who was at the scene of the crime once again. This was one of the deadliest fires in modern American history, but the details of the disaster simply don't add up. Roads were blocked off and trapped residents in a fiery death trap, and police barricaded stopped people from escaping. Why was the area immediately locked down, with journalists and even residents barred from accessing their own people and their own town? And the middle of it all, giving so many press conferences and controlling the narrative and keeping the tight control, was John Pelletier. How was this man, the same guy from being at the center of the Las Vegas massacre, guys, to running the most devastating fire response in US history? John Pelletier's bizarre run of being at the center of major disasters has continued, as his name has just popped up in a federal lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. The same John Pelletier who managed the Vegas shooting and the fire is now named as a defendant in a case alleging kidnapping, R-word, and conspiracy. According to the lawsuit, Ashley Parham was drugged and assaulted and his crew in 2018. When she tried to report the crime, the police officer who responded was none other than John Pelletier. But here's the kicker. He wasn't even supposed to be there, because he was working in Las Vegas at the time. Yet somehow, he was able to show up in California impersonating a sheriff's deputy. The lawsuit claims John Pelletier dismissed her case, silenced her, and may have helped cover up the entire incident. Another victim in the case alleged that John Pelletier himself was even involved in the kidnapping, held them at gunpoint, and forced them in a vehicle. So that in itself is crazy, for the fact that John Pelletier, this particular person, is at the scene of the crime continuously for so many unfortunate incidents. And in the P. Diddy lawsuit, he's basically somebody who is helping to expedite Diddy getting away with everything and even being controlled and part of it. If this person was not even working in California, why was he the one that showed up to everything that took place? Because he knew perhaps that this was going on with Diddy, he needed to protect Diddy. And then of course you have this website basically saying that he works for transporting connections for both Diddy and for both Oprah. And in a recent lawsuit, he's been accused of for protecting and also transporting stuff for Diddy. It definitely makes you think that this is the middleman, not only the connection between Diddy and Oprah, but also the middleman himself seems to be extremely corrupt. Well, as of today, as I spoke about in my recent video, the mayor came out and basically said that John Pelletier must step down pending investigation to find out what's going on. Well, Maui Police Chief John Pelletier today is pushing back against Mayor Richard Bison's call to place him on admin leave after he was named in a R-word case against Sean Diddy Combs. On Tuesday, John Pelletier spoke out himself, denied any involvement with Diddy and the other defendants, including Drewski and Odell Beckham Jr., insisting the allegations against him are completely false. Maui's top cop expressed his deep upset in Bison's request to place him on leave and calling the ask unjust and extremely premature. When you read the lawsuit, it's horrifying. It is so sobering, and Dark doesn't even cover it. It's sheer evil. Court documents allege that Diddy and others R-worded Ashley and that John Pelletier posed as a fake Contra Costa sheriff to keep it all under wraps. So now it is odd to me that John Pelletier has come out to basically say that not only am I great chief, but I'm not going anywhere. He puts out a statement and states, I want to address the recent request by Mayor Bison. Let me be clear, these allegations are false and I have not been formally served with any legal paperwork. Throughout my career, I have served with integrity and dedication, and I am deeply disappointed by this request, which I believe to be both premature and unjust. I understand the importance of transparency and accountability in law enforcement, and I fully intend to cooperate. However, he is refusing to step down, and he is completely upset with what the mayor is saying in this particular town, city. So John Pelletier is somebody who seems to be at the scene of the crime continuously, and I wanted to do my research, my due diligence to look at this man, who he is, and what I found is that there are several articles claiming that this man has direct connections to Diddy and also Oprah Winfrey. So it is intriguing that this was made many months ago as a statement, and then the lawsuit comes out with Diddy. Perhaps that could take place in the future with Oprah, or perhaps John Pelletier is one of many individuals who works undercover in the police forces for celebrities to cover up their tracks and their crimes. The Las Vegas massacre is just one incident. But the Maui fires is another massacre that you were also part of. Both particular massacres where you help to control and derail the actual narratives and make sure that information gets redacted or prevented. But now, allegedly, on top of all of that, you're also now listed in a P. Diddy case where you are doing the same thing for P. Diddy, but also transporting people yourself. What is going on? How many John Pelletiers are there? And the fact that this man is also speaking up today, refusing to leave pending until this investigation is done, also speaks of his character. It does not look good for him at all. One thing about this Ashley Parham lawsuit is that it definitely has caused us confusion. But one good thing that has come out of this lawsuit is that we are looking at the corruptive police officers in the workforce, and John Pelletier's name is being discussed heavily again and exposed in this manner. So I don't think that Ashley Parham's lawsuit is completely false. I think it definitely brings the conversation of credibility issues with defendants being named that probably weren't even there from what they've said themselves. But also John Pelletier is somebody who's been showing up at the scene of the crimes now 3 times. And if there are other websites predicting that he actually is part of transporting connections and also saying that he also works for Oprah for her dealings as well, then it definitely means that this conversation is a lot more deep than we actually think it is. I grabbed my shovel and I said I'm going to start digging to get this video out for you guys. Hopefully you guys appreciate it and hopefully you guys understand it coherently. Please do subscribe to the channel, comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. Do send a tip if you guys wish to. There's a $ there. You can send it whatever you want and it goes a long way. Comment down below on this video and give it a thumbs up. I want to know what your thoughts are on John Pelletier, one of the middlemen for Oprah and Diddy, apparently and allegedly. And to be honest with you, I say one of the middlemen very tightly, because I definitely feel like there are many of them just like John Pelletier, whether they're in the workforces, in the politician world, or behind the scenes completely, or executives that are working for musicians. Subscribe and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.